Hi guys, a massive problem with Fool of the Week is as soon as I drop a video, another one pops up. And in this case, it's a guy called Stephen Kerr, who's a Tory in Scotland. So he was complaining here about what he sees as waste in the healthcare system. In particular, the SNP running the healthcare system in a bad way, in a inefficient way. So he's talking about paracetamol, but as I'm going to point out, there's a bit of a problem here.
I want to talk about the outrageous cost of prescriptions in Scotland. Under the SNP Scottish Government, a packet of paracetamol costs £9.10. You can get the same packet of paracetamol at Boots for 49p. Now there's 2.5 million prescriptions every year. That means £23 million is being spent on these prescriptions. This just shows how reckless the SNP are with your money as taxpayers. And that's why we now need a good dose of common sense. Why not just let people buy their paracetamol at Boots?
Okay, before I get to the problem here, is this guy lying or is he stupid? Because as a public representative, if he's lying, this is a serious problem. And if he's stupid, that's also a problem. Now, I don't know if he's going to come back and correct the record after, but I'm going to explain why this is a problem. So he mentioned two prices here. He mentioned £9.10. I don't know if this is true, but let's say for the sake of argument, it is true. So a prescription for paracetamol is costing the Scottish Government, the NHS in Scotland, £9.10 per prescription. While if you go into Boots, you can get a packet of paracetamol for 49p. So on the surface, it sounds quite reasonable. The Scottish Government is being inefficient. The NHS is wasting money. But what he's doing is he's comparing apples and oranges, because the prescription for paracetamol is not the same as the one you buy in the pharmacy, in Boots or in the supermarket or wherever you're getting your paracetamol. Because the one over the counter is weaker than the one on prescription. And we're talking about half as powerful. So in some cases, we're talking about 500 milligrams of paracetamol in each tablet. While if you're getting it on prescription, we're talking about a whole gram, of paracetamol in each tablet. So first of all, the strength is double when we're talking about the prescription. Now that's one aspect. The tablet is also different in the sense that it contains other elements. So the one that you buy in Boots is just a painkiller, while the one that you receive on prescription is a different type of painkiller that is spread out over a longer period of time, and it contains different chemicals. That's why it has to have a prescription with it, because there could be adverse reactions, because somebody may be allergic to some other chemical within that paracetamol tablet, the actual tablet that you're taking. Now, look, if Stephen Kerr was talking about roads, or he was talking about public transport, or he was talking about, taxes or something, I wouldn't really respond to it. But he's talking about public health here. And what he's trying to say is, look, what we need to do is we need to stop spending money on prescriptions, which are free in Scotland, and instead just allow ordinary people to treat themselves. But a doctor prescribes paracetamol for particular issues. And it's not the same as just taking the one in Boots. There is a prescription for a reason. We should leave this to the doctors. We should leave this to the experts, not to politicians who don't know the difference between an over-the-counter medicine and a prescription medicine. Once again, if he was talking about buses, it wouldn't be such a serious issue, but this is public health. Now, I think Stephen Kerr should do a response video to this and explain either that I'm wrong and he's right, or if he is wrong and he admits that he's wrong, he should take down the original video and he should explain and apologize to people who've seen this. Because once again, the prescription paracetamol is very different to the one that you get over the counter. It's more powerful and it contains different elements. I'm not a pharmacist. I've done a little bit of research and I discovered this myself. So while he's selling a political idea, he could be undermining public health here. And that's much more serious. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think, and I'll see you in the next video.